Hello, guys, and welcome. Here is the penultimate part to this five-part series I'm doing on figures I would like to see made from each, Walking Dead franchise. For most of them anyway. Today we're going to be covering the Telltale games, which will cover season 1, 2, 3, 400 Days and the Michonne miniseries, but I'll just let you know no character from 400 Days or the Michonne miniseries appear on this list. Anyway, starting off at number 1 is a season 1 version of Clementine. So far, the only Telltale Games figures we have for The Walking Dead are a Lee and a Clementine based on her season 2 look. I think it'd be cool to have a season 1 Clementine to go along with season 1 Lee. And yeah, I think she's just such a big character. I think, we should get a season 3 version, a season 4 version, because, she, from the promo images, she looks different in season 4 as well. There's all these different looks she has throughout the games, but I do think this is one they really need to go back and do because, Clementine is pretty memorable in this, and I think if they were to do an exclusive version, I think a cool thing they could do would be one where she's wearing the red hoodie that she gets if you steal from the van in episode 2. So I think, Clementine would be an awesome character to get. Obviously, two heads, one where she has the long hair and the other head where she has the pigtails. So, moving on to the next character, probably the character I want the most, Kenny. Season 2 Kenny, preferably. Kenny is one of my absolute favorite characters in the game series. My top 3 would be Lee, Clementine, then Kenny. Kenny is one awesome character. And, there's still the chance of him being alive if, you separated from him at the end of season 2, so there's always that. I think the Kenny figure, something cool for it to have would be if the Kenny figure had 3 different heads. One where both of his eyes are there, one with the bandage over his eye, as we can see in this picture, and then one where his eye is exposed. Kind of like the comic Carl figure we got. So, yeah, I think Kenny figure would definitely sell well. I wish they would just do more merchandise for the Walking Dead game, like do pop vinyls or something. Like, come on, want something? Because I already own the Lee and Clementine figure. I do want to get the bloody versions at some point, and to see a Kenny be added would be amazing. Next up is Luke. Luke, in my opinion, is one of the best characters of the game series, along with the 3 I just mentioned. He was probably my favorite character that they added to season 2 in terms of character. My top 3 favorite characters were in season 1 as well, but this is a character that wasn't in season 1, and I think he'd be an absolutely awesome figure to get. He also has a pretty big fan base, and there are the Clementine and Luke shippers, which who ships them, seriously? Luke, like, what the fuck? You do know Luke is like, what, didn't he say he was like 27? Clementine in the second game is 11. You people are fucking crazy. What the fuck are you doing? Anyway, next up is Javier Garcia, the main character of season 3. Now, say what you will about the 3rd season of the Walking Dead game, I really enjoyed it, and a big part of my enjoyment in that season was definitely Javier. He was a very, very likable character. Um, I immediately got attached to him, and he's trying to do his best for his family, trying to protect them at all costs, and just seeing him get a somewhat happy ending, which is very unlike The Walking Dead. Usually it's pretty sad, but by the end of season 3, at least one other family member of his is going to be alive, and there's that to look on, so that's something that's good. Next up is Ben. Um, where will I start with Ben? I love his character. Is he a fuck up? Yes. Is he somewhat liable? A liability? I wouldn't say he's better off just killing. I think the character, he meant well, and he did try. And in episode 5, if you kept him alive in episode 4, he helps you out, he gets your gun back, he stands up for himself, you get to know more about him. He gets that sad death. He's definitely a character I feel sorry for. But, I did love and respect his character, and, he was just a great character and he will be missed. Next up is Krista. Krista is an interesting one. She's been MIA since season 2, and fans have really wanted to see her return, including myself. I've been wanting her to come back since I first played season 2. I wish season 3 fucking showed what happened to her, because I just want to know. As Abraham said in the Walking Dead TV show, loose ends make my ass itch, and this is a loose end that's certainly fucking itchy. Um, uh, I like talking about these characters and my personal feelings on these characters, so you get a good idea of why I want them to be made into figures. And Krista, she's a badass, so she is. She took care of Clementine longer than most people, and she did a fine job raising her. But you gotta have Omid with Krista. Omid, the optimistic half to her. He's a shine in a very gloomy world. He's that sunshine, and he is definitely really nice to Clementine. He is very optimistic. He puts others in front of himself. He'll do anything for Krista. He's just an all-around great guy, and what happened to him in season 2 was really fucking sad to see. I'm glad that little bitch got shot from Krista after doing that to Omi, because Omi didn't deserve that. He was such an awesome character. Anyway, speaking of awesome characters, well, everyone's an awesome character here, and anywhere, but next up is Molly. Molly is another character that has been missing for quite some time. She is definitely a unique character. I know a lot of people make parallels between her and Jane and Ava, and even though there are similarities, they are completely different characters in a lot of ways. I'd like her to have an alternate head, and obviously be able to put up her hood, have her have this kind of look if you want to have her displayed like that on your shelf. I think that would look pretty damn kick-ass. As she was such a capable character, and just seeing her move like she was a damn ninja. And hopefully she might appear at some point. But if she's appearing, even if it's in figure form, she needs to have Hilda, her axe. As you can see her holding in this picture here. She doesn't go anywhere without it. And the times you get to use the axe, This is pretty fun. She's very good with parkour as well, like damn good as well. So that's what I'll say on her. Next up is another season 3 character, and it is Conrad. Now, Conrad is one of my favorite characters from season 3. Besides the Garcia family, he is probably my favorite character. So I like him more than Trip, Eleanor, and Ava. I'm glad you can actually keep Conrad alive. He doesn't just die. Hell, he's triple determinant. That's fucking insane, and he can survive the entire game. I love that. I love how you can actually save him. There is actually hope for the determining characters, and yeah, him coming up in episode 4 saving your ass. And hell, he even dies he even sacrifices himself to save you in episode 4 if you don't move out of the way of the truck fast enough. So yeah, Conrad's an all-around great guy. He did have that crazy moment at the end of episode 2, but he did redeem himself. Next up is Chuck, or Charles. Um, Chuck is, a side character, yes, not a main character, but he's definitely one that will never be forgotten. He's the one that told Lee to cut Clementine's hair. He was wise, he was very friendly, he was kind, and, he put his life on the line for us. And, when you saw his dead body in episode 4, that was definitely a really sad moment. And, yeah, it's really sad to see this guy have such a short lifespan. As Lee said, he did deserve better, and too bad he didn't get that. Here's to you, Chuck. Alright, so next is Trip. Trip would be a fucking awesome character to have on your shelf. Just look at him, like, just how bulky he is makes him unique looking. He's like a fucking lumberjack, like a hardcore fucking muscly lumberjack, and he will fuck you up. He is definitely a capable fighter, and I really feel sorry for him with his relationship with Eleanor, and then Eleanor betraying us and getting him killed in certain playthroughs. Trip really deserved better, especially from someone that he really cared for, like Eleanor. So, again, let's have a moment for silence for Trip like we did Chuck. Next up is Lily. Lily is another character that is pretty divisive. There's a lot of them on these lists, but, fan demand to see her return has been pretty damn high. Here's a fun fact. Lily from the game was originally meant to be Lily from the comic book, the character that kills the governor. Now, when the novel The Road to Woodbury came out and, was the canonical Lily from the comic book, they had to change her to a different Lily to, avoid confusion. So she is a original game character, but she is still canon to the comic book, but, she never appears in the comic book. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, she was also originally meant to appear in episode 5 of season 1, but hopefully she does appear in season 4. We can only hope. Speaking of divisive characters, Kenny fans, have it out for her in some way. I'm a Kenny fan. I did like Jane, but I wasn't a fan that she was so against Kenny. I felt Kenny was a necessary character to have in the world, especially I've seen everything with The Walking Dead, everything that's canon to the TV show and to the comic book. Kenny is a character that is definitely needed. He is necessary. He is a survivor, and even then, I knew Kenny was a capable person, and he cared about Clementine and AJ no matter what. I didn't like how she manipulated Clem into thinking Kenny was bad, and yeah, but I do still like her character, and she will also be missed. Well, she might not be dead in some playthroughs. Anyway, next up is Carly. Everybody loves Carly. They saved her over Doug for a fucking reason. And I did not have enough room to fit Doug on this list, so I'm sorry, Doug. I'm really fucking sorry. But you would be number 16 on this list. So yeah. And then AJ would be like number 17. Because I don't think they'd just release AJ on his own, seeing how he'd be like such a small figure. But hey, they released Spade and he's a huge figure. But anyway, Carly is a damn awesome character. She's a great shot. She is very friendly, and she meant a lot to Lee, and her death in episode 3 is one of the most shocking and saddening deaths in the entire game franchise. We've talked about heroes, let's talk about the villains. In this case, William Bill Carver. This guy, what can I say? He's an absolute cunt. He's permanently damaged Kenny's eye. He has tortured a bunch of the characters. He's the reason characters like Alvin and he's also the reason for Walter's death as well. Sorry, I was trying to think of his name there. Because Walter was a pretty cool character, but yeah. Carver was a memorable villain, and he was definitely a force to be reckoned with. But God, was his death fucking satisfying. So have an alternate head where he's smashed in skull. Anyway, that's it. I'll conclude it with Fear the Walking Dead.